All right, folks, let's do this one more time. Gallery. Select version 4. Duplicate. You got this down. X out of that. Click below version 4. Call this version 5. All right, done. Let's go ahead and get started. All right, so what I'm going to show you now is my sculpting method to add stylized lines to an image. So this is going to be a little bit of combination. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to be working with the lights. I'm going to be working with some of these lines. So I'm going to create another layer, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to call it detail lines. Okay, perfect. Now there's no rhyme or reason to where these are going to go. These are going to be done with the Studio Pen. They're going to be very, very small and very, very tiny. And so it's one of those things you put them in wherever you want to. Oops, let's go ahead and make it black, huh? All right, even smaller than that. That's cool. Okay. And one of the reasons I like to do these, when you do roses, it helps draw the eye through the contour of the image that you want the person to experience. Now again, if you hate them, you don't have to use them. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through and I'm going to put in a couple spatters. So this is going to be done with the painting brush. I'm just going to grab a very simple, let's just grab a soft, let's go ahead and grab an oriental brush, that'll work. And now I'm going to take the size down a little bit. And I want to add in just a little bit of texture on this rose. You see how this adds just a little bit of interest? And I want to kind of differentiate between the black and now some extreme white. All right, cool. You can go as far or as little as you want to in that. Now, let's do some really cool geometry. I'm going to come down with my eraser. I'm going to grab the hard brush, and I'm going to make it pretty darn small to begin with. Now, you see how I put these big blobs of stuff in here? I'm going to go now to my highlights, and I'm going to start erasing. Okay, so if I erase, now what am I erasing? I really like to then follow the curvature of the piece. See how this creates a very dynamic highlight? I really like that look. And if you had to go back through and troubleshoot it because you maybe erased too much, you can always come back and erase the extra that you made. All right, so I like to use every line that's in here to help tell my story. So I'll come in and I'll cut away. That looks pretty cool. And then here, where I might have gotten a little bit too aggressive, I'll come up and I'll just touch in some areas to add a little bit of interest to how this thing goes. Okay, so if you ever get a little bit too crazy with it, don't worry about it. You can come up and you can do whatever you want to do with it. It's yours. I like to sculpt away when I do different masks and such. You'll see me sculpt a lot of these away because I really like to create that. All right, now I'll show you what I was talking about here when I said I'm just doing these blotchy areas. I start to sculpt away. And now I start creating these really cool shapes. Yeah, let's drop that down a little bit further. That's actually really cool. All right, let's do a couple more here. You don't need to see me do this forever. And then we're going to put a simple background on this, and then we're going to call it a day. So why don't we have the editor go ahead and speed this up. All right, so that looks pretty cool. Let's go ahead and put a real simple background on it. Let's go ahead and drop the group down. Let's add a new layer. Let's bring it underneath. And now I'm just going to go with something really kind of grimy. I'm looking at the red over here. So I'm going to go with complementary color. I'm going to go with green, right? So I'm going to try this out. We're going to go ahead and we're going to grab our brushes. And why don't we go ahead and do some airbrushing. Let's go ahead and go to, actually let's go spray paint. Let's go ahead and bring it up. And now, let's go ahead and pop this thing in. That's pretty cool. All right, let's just go ahead and throw this in. I'm just going to add a little bit more. And now, don't be afraid to mess with some of your different textures. Add in some spatters. All right, cool. I think that is going to call us a day. Why don't we go ahead, call it on this project, and let's go ahead and call it on this section.